Welcome back. Second half match getting underway at the Etihad Stadium, where it's Manchester City 1, Brentford 0, and the team in all sky blue get us back underway. So no changes at the break for Pep Guardiola or Thomas Frank. City dominated that first half, got the goal via a penalty, and there were one or two little moments for Brentford as things opened up a little bit towards half-time, but I think overall Man City would definitely be the happier of the two sides on that first 45 minutes.
I think so. They came out with the intention of trying to take the lead. They had most of the ball. It took them a while to finally take the lead, but they had a couple of other good chances as well. A couple of little nervy moments towards the end of the half where Brentford had half chances, but Pep Guardiola's side will feel very confident going into this second half. That if they can do the same again, they'll feel as though they can go on to win the game. They'll think comfortably as well.
Yeah, David Raya gets his first touch of the second half as he scoops up a low pass into the penalty area from Sterling, and now he hits this one long into the City half. It's brought down on the arm, I would have said there, by Janssen, but play continues. It's fed up towards Godos, who lays it off to Onyeka, and now Roeslav, who conceded that spot kick, and back to Nørgaard, plays an early ball in, and then it's knocked away by Laporte. Brentford play it back to Raya, who's back in position, and then via Janssen to Raya once more. Risky ball there into Janssen, but he does well, knocks it back to Pontus Janssen. Now City have a chance to prime press the Brentford keeper in possession. He hits a rather flat trajectory ball out to the right. Roeslav rises, but it goes over his head out for a Manchester City throw.
That's what Brentford have to be careful of. If they do win the ball back, they've got to try and conserve their possession a little bit better than they did in the first half. On a few occasions, they just gave it away too easily.
Now Edison has the ball under his foot, moves it to the edge of the penalty area and plays a ball along the ground to Foden. He drops it off to Bernardo. I don't think I've seen Bernardo have such a quieter first half as that this season. He's not really been his usual lively self, and City haven't really got him involved in the game too much.
No, they haven't. I mean, he's now sticking in that midfield three. He doesn't really play in that front three anymore. He's now ranging forward, and he finds Sterling. Good to see Bernardo get into the game a bit more, but Sterling taking on Roeslav again and just about getting away from him.
Yeah, I thought Roeslav had shrugged him off there, but then he's, again, as he fouled Sterling, he's having all kinds of troubles here from Raheem Sterling, because Sterling doesn't give up on it, manages to run the long way round his body, gets the ball back, and then Roeslav rather clumsily brings him down as he tries to get it back towards a teammate. And now the referee's having to have stern words with Mads Roeslav about maybe one too many fouls on Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, but he was certainly arguing the toss here, Roeslav. He felt as though there was perhaps a foul on him, that perhaps he was having his shirt pulled there. But in those situations, benefit of the doubt always goes to the forward, really, if the defender is that close to him and doesn't get the ball.
Well, certainly the free kick went to Manchester City. Maybe the benefit of the doubt has gone to Roeslav in a way, because he's avoided a yellow card there. He wasn't booked in the incident for the penalty either. So it's a free kick to Manchester City over on the left-hand side. Two stand over it, right and left-footed option, De Bruyne and Foden. Two-man wall for Brentford, lined up now by goalkeeper Raya. Foden leaves it for De Bruyne, put an in-swinging ball into the near post, well defended by Canos, who was back there, and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, quickly stepped away by Canos. That's what Brentford need to do. Any set pieces that City have, they need to get rid of them quickly and try and force the home side as far back as possible.
I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on Man City here, because they're winning the game and they've been far the better, but having said that, Bernardo has been a bit of a non-factor in the game. I think De Bruyne has been as well. I mean, it just goes to show you how, City don't necessarily have to have all their players on song to, dominate games and strangle the life out of an opponent, because really two of the key players there, De Bruyne and Bernardo, have been very quiet by their own high standards.
No, you're absolutely right. They're the two main playmakers for City, arguably, and they really haven't missed them so much. But here comes De Bruyne now.
Yeah, he tries to thread it through low towards Foden, but it doesn't quite rive at him, and then Henry puts it behind for a corner. He's saying that he didn't get a shout there. There was a City player lurking behind him, I think in the form of Mahrez, so he probably did the right thing in the end.
Safety first, I think, there. If he's going to start to try and turn inside his own penalty area, there's always a risk of losing it.
Short corner, yeah, played in by De Bruyne, headed away by Pinnock. Again, De Bruyne's under-hit a cross in from the edge of the penalty area. Falls to Cancelo, who strikes from the edge of the box. Plenty of power, but no direction.
Well, we know how good João Cancelo can be from that sort of range, and he does put his right foot through this one. Foden spots his teammate about 7-8 yards outside the D. Good effort, and Raya was diving across. If that had been on target, he may not have got there.
But again, a quick corner routine there that actually caught Brentford out. Brentford had enough players over there, but City brought a third man in on the corner of the box, which was De Bruyne, and it caught Brentford a little bit unawares there. But then again, the Belgians' ball was under-hit. There's been a few crosses of his tonight that have been a little bit under-hit. Long header from Rodri off that goal kick from Raya sends Janssen backpedaling, and he finds the Spaniard to clear with his right foot up to the halfway line. Flicked on by Godos. I think Canos was offside there, and he shouldn't have been really. The linesman's flag was up, and it's a free kick to Man City.
Yeah, it's just as soon as Brentford crossed the halfway line, they pretty much give the free kick away and lose possession. But from Brentford's point of view, they've got to be patient. They aside from the goal they conceded in the first half, there were moments where they were able to frustrate City, and if they can keep it at 1-0, they give themselves half a chance.
Yeah, Laporte dances into the Brentford half, finds Cancelo on the left, now to Sterling. Back to the, I was going to say, Spanish centre-back, but I think he's French now, isn't he? Playing in the French national setup now. As the ball's threaded through to Mahrez, the Algerian tries to get to the byline. He's blocked out there by Henry, and it will be a goal kick.
I get confused. It's the other way around. He's now Spanish. He was French, Laporte, before, absolutely. But Mahrez on that occasion, pushing forward down the right-hand side, couldn't quite finish the move off. We've had 6 minutes in the second half, and it's pretty much all been spent in the Brentford half. Yeah,
Didier Deschamps never fancied him, did he, really? Just... there were plenty of opportunities for him to call him up and have a look at him, and he just ignored him.
Just because of those very tall, strong defenders that they have within the French national team, it was almost like Laporte didn't quite fit that mould. But of course, in this day and age, a ball-playing centre-back is what you want in your team, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and certainly Spain have made good use of him since he put his allegiance their way. Of course, he's a Basque and played for Athletic Bilbao, but qualified for France as well. As the ball's sent forward by Manchester City, and now a challenge comes in from Raya, and it's a well-timed tackle as well on Sterling to put it behind for a goal kick. Well, quite animated there, isn't he? Is he not happy with his teammates there?
I think he must be, because the decision has got his way. The referee has, and it's the right decision. So Raya has slid the ball onto Sterling to win his side the goal kick, but certainly the Danish international was very unhappy about something there.
Yeah, again, he's still chuntering away to himself as he walks back to the halfway line. And goal kick's going to be taken by Raya. This one hit up to the front line where Godos chests it down. It's played into Pinnock. So it was Pinnock. Was it Onyeka? Was it? No, it was Pinnock who played it forward. Onyeka was chasing onto it. Couldn't quite make it, and it's cleared by Ederson. Then headed away by the Brentford defence. Now Henry gets it under his control, tries to beaver down the left-hand side. He's got pace and he's got help as well. Was Canos offside again? And that must be about 4 times he's been offside in the game, Sergi Canos.
Well, Brentford have hardly had any attacking possession at all, but somehow Sergi Canos has managed to be offside 4 times in the game, as you said. And it's a shame, really, because there was a chance. He just wasn't paying attention as he was coming back from the previous move.
City taking a risk there, playing across the back. Godos was trying to... seize possession, but it's got away from him and out to Stones, who reverses the ball back to Diaz now. Played 8 minutes in the second half, still 1-0 to the home side. City just working the ball back across from left to right now, and then back via Rodri. That was via Diaz to Laporte. And now Sterling on the City left, looking for a short pass option to Bernardo. Goes backwards, forced there by the pressure and energy of Onyeka. Now City go back over to the right, but Stones takes a touch inside, and they go back left again. Bernardo, he gives it away inside, gets it back there, as Rodri just stretches to make a challenge. City still ponderous coming forward now. Stones tries to get them going forward. He finds Sterling coming off the front. Sterling's got Cancelo outside him. The Portuguese cuts onto his right foot, then back to his left in the penalty area. They can't touch him here. Goes for goal, and it's fumbled initially by Raya, but he grabs the rebound.
He does, yeah. I thought initially Raya made a bit of a mess. That superb jinking run here from João Cancelo. Gets away from Roslev. Onyeka very close to committing a foul. Roslev a bit scared to get too close to Cancelo the second time round, and he just scuffed his shot a little bit. Raya made the save. It just got away from him, but he was able to get his hands to it eventually.
Yeah, former Valencia fullback, who, of course, was signed from Juventus. Manchester City did a really good deal there to bring him in. And he's been a real find these past couple of seasons. almost adding to City's lead there. As now the ball's given away by the home side, and Foden has to try and make up for his error as he's chasing down Norgard and Canos. The ball's played back though under his pressure. He's forced Brentford back to Raya, and he lets the ball go all the way back into his 6-yard box before giving it back to Janssen. His pass was half deflected and City pick it up through De Bruyne. What's the referee given here? Has he given a throw in? I think he has. He must have taken a little... the ball just rolled over the white line there before the ball was cleared. City take the throw quickly. De Bruyne gets it edge of the penalty area, looking for a quick 1-2, but it's blocked by Jensen. Comes back to Sterling, who can only play it back now to Laporte. City patient. They're trying to impose their own style of play on this game. Brentford doing pretty well so far to block out the sort of through balls, which they're very good at. The sort of timing passes where a runner's off, running off the back of a player and suddenly through on goal. They've not had too many of those sort of chances tonight. Here's Sterling, who won the penalty. Goes back to Rodri. And then City build again. Right-hand side through Stones. Very central. They're trying to really get those fullbacks pushed in a little bit at the moment. Now Bernardo turns away, goes for goal from range, but it's an easy save from Raya, moving across to his right.
Yeah, never really got the power there to trouble David Raya. Was able to make a standing save. Bernardo keen to get into this game. As you mentioned, he's not had too much of an impact on the game so far. That was a bit of a sighter for him, but comfortable in the end there for Raya. Probably
getting to the stage where a Manchester City starter, certainly in that forward area, if he hasn't had a big impact on the game, will be looking nervously at the bench, because there's so much talent that Pep Guardiola could bring on to lift things a notch or two. Now Stones has gone down as he won a header coming over the top of Pinnock. He's landed awkwardly on his back. Oh, and that is a nasty fall on his shoulder and his back, and he could be in some pain here, John Stones.
He could. I mean, Pinnock doesn't know anything about this. Stones is coming in from behind. He doesn't even see him, but then when he hits the deck, that's a painful one there for John Stones. You mentioned there about options for Guardiola. Well, he's got Grealish, he's got Gundogan, he's also got Delap as well in terms of forward options. He's got Fernandinho, Zinchenko, Walker we just saw as well. So there's plenty of options. Nathan Ake is also on the bench for City this evening, should it turn out that Stones can't play on.
Well, Stones, a centre-back playing at right-back in this game, is down receiving treatment. Yeah, Nathan Ake, if he was to come on him, he wouldn't want to play right-back, would he? But they'd have to shuffle things. Maybe Diaz would have to play right back or something like that, or maybe Cancelo.
Absolutely, they do have Walker on the bench as an option as well. True, depending on what they would want to do, maybe to give themselves more attacking options, they could bring Zinchenko on to play on the left and switch Cancelo over to the right. One thing that Guardiola is not short of, is options on that bench and options for his whole squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't do any significant business in the transfer, or not immediate business anyway, in terms of his 25-man Premier League squad. They did sign a highly rated talent from Argentina, didn't they? I think from River Plate, who's going to be maybe a big part of their plans in the future.
Absolutely. We're going to see Brentford are getting ready to make a change. Brian Mbeumo's getting ready to go on, as is Josh De Silva. De Silva made his first appearance in 11 months on Saturday in the game at Everton after a string of injury problems, so it's great to see him back in contention. So Brentford looking to make a double change.
De Silva, is he ex-Arsenal, is he?
He was, yeah. He had a brief stint there as well. Didn't really break into the first team, but he was certainly a big part of the promotion of Brentford's to the Premier League, and was very much missed towards the end of last season as well.
Ball forward by Man City, but Pinnock hooks it clear. Godos challenged there and wins a free kick again as he's just got there ahead of Ruben Diaz. So free kick to Brentford. Here's the opportunity then for that double change from Thomas Frank and his coaching staff.
So look, just tell you very quickly that Wilf Zaha has equalised for Crystal Palace on 60 minutes. So it's 1-1 now between Norwich and Palace.
Yeah, a few few Premier League sides breathing a little bit easier there that Norwich aren't leading any longer in that game. Of course, Newcastle beat Everton last night to really bring Everton, into the heart of the relegation scrap now again.
Yeah, it was disappointing from Everton. I did commentary of that game, and I thought that just never really got into the game. Newcastle didn't have a particularly good start themselves, but certainly came good in the second half.
Yeah, I think the relegation fight is just beginning to warm up now, isn't it? You often find that it's post the January transfer window when squads are, sometimes dramatically reorganised. We've seen, big changes at Newcastle, obviously Everton as well, and Burnley. They brought in Weghorst as the ball comes to the penalty area. It's knocked away by Laporte, drops to Onyeka, edge of the box. He's gone down looking for a free kick. Referee says no, and Rodri knocks it clear. He's going to try and release Mahrez, but asked a lot of the Algerian there, and Raya's out quickly to bang it back into City's territory. Brilliant first touch from Godos, knocks it back, can't quite find Onyeka, had gone ahead of the ball, but he now finds Norgard, and it's worked out to Jensen. Quick first time pass out to Henry. He's high up on the left as he's been in the match, puts the cross into the back post, headed away by Cancelo. Roslav's up there as well, he puts the ball in, it's volleyed towards goal by Onyeka, and he got no power in it at all. Easy save.
No, he's almost just turned that ball towards Edison without any kind of power at all. He's just redirected the pass from Roslev, really. But a bit more promising from Brentford. 5 players waiting in the box for this cross. Not the best header away from Cancelo as well.
Yeah, one wing back to another. That cross from Henry that found Roslav via the defensive header from Cancelo. And that is a good sign for Brentford there, that it seems like maybe Thomas Frank has made a little bit of a, I don't know, he's just turned something on there a little bit more attacking wise in this performance. So here is the double change then, as you said. Mbuemo on for Godos is not a big surprise, and De Silva on for Canos. So it's a change of the front two.
It is, yeah. It's with De Silva. He may just drop into that more of a midfield role. We'll wait to see exactly where he positions up. But Mbuemo certainly is a player who is going to try and get forward. He's hit the woodwork on a number of occasions already for Brentford this season. He'll be hoping for a bit more luck this evening.
So throw into City. Thomas Frank is right behind the thrower Cancelo and pointing to his team. We've won the ball back from the second ball there, knocked it forward, one for the new front players to chase. It goes back to Edison, who hacks it away to the right, and now Stones, who seems to have recovered from that back knock he took early when falling awkwardly, brings it forward and drops it off to the left-hand side for Cancelo, who moves closer to the Brentford goal. He's surrounded by a swarm of red and white shirted players as it's played wide to De Bruyne again. De Bruyne plays it into the penalty area. It's a little bit away from Bernardo. I couldn't stretch and control. It's not clear to Mbuemo. The substitute trying to roll it out towards Henry. Asked a lot of him, and it goes out for a throw. Maybe Crystal Palace have got a penalty now, I think, at Norwich. That's a big turnaround from leading 1-0. Now Palace could be going in front in that game. Sorry, from trailing 1-0, they could be going in front.
They certainly could, and that would be a big turnaround in that game. And a big disappointment for Norwich after that positive start. But City making movements on the bench now, so it looks like Jack Grealish is getting ready to come on.
City have the ball inside the centre circle. It's played back now to Ruben Dias. The ex-Benfica man slides it across to Stones, once of Everton. He's picked out a careful crossfield switch to Cancelo. Penalty missed by Crystal Palace. Cancelo trying that outside the boot ball into the box for Sterling, but it's defended well by Brentford, picked up by Foden, who knocks it back to Bernardo, and City have it again, safe possession inside the centre circle with the central defenders. Bernardo again, creeping up on the left-hand side. Brentford staying very disciplined in their shape. Goes back to Rodri. He sweeps it across now to Stones, and then Mahrez. Stones again, being forced backwards by Brentford's defensive shape. Out to De Bruyne. Played in towards Mahrez's feet. He's got half a yard here to try and take on Pinnock. Can he get the cross in? Hits it high towards the back post, up in the air by Onyeka. Might drop on the edge here. They're scrapping for every little bit of possession they can get. It's knocked away. Norgard now might release a ball through the middle, and here is Mbuemo, who's got pace to get away from Stones. Stones really stretching his legs, and Mbuemo to the edge of the penalty area. He can't get his shot in from a tight angle. De Bruyne got back there and helped out Stones, and he needed help because at one moment it looked like it was a foot race between the two.
It did, but Mbuemo just went wide as he was trying to get away from Stones, and as he cut back, ran straight into Kevin De Bruyne. Just a quick update from Carrow Road. Will Zaha scored on 60 minutes, then missed the penalty on 63, so it's still 1-1.
Yeah, and it's still only 1-0 in this game, despite Manchester City's obvious dominance. And there was a half opening for Brentford to steal something back on the break, and they need to take those opportunities. De Bruyne again into the penalty area. Poor ball, knocked away by the Bees' defence. Roslav, though, slow to react to it. Drops to Cancelo, tries a shot straight into the body of Raya.
Well, that's a let-off for Brentford because they had that ball and then gave it away at the edge of their own penalty area after stopping the initial Manchester City attack. That's the kind of thing that they can't afford to do, as Raya just beckoning his players to get a bit further forward.
Yeah, so 25 minutes to go, plus whatever is added on for stoppage time. There will be some stoppage time in the second half after the Stones injury. Long central ball from Raya is defended well by Rodri. Now drops to Stones. He plays it safely square to former Atletico Madrid man. Back out towards Stones' right fullback position. Jogging forward, trying to support Mahrez. As it's played back by the Algerian now into halfway. Diaz tries to motor forward and then plays it back out to his international colleague Bernardo Silva. Bernardo drifting past Jensen. Leaves it for Mahrez now, who's trying to take on Henry. Again, he doesn't fancy going on the outside, plays it back again. Brentford happy to funnel those wingers back inside whenever they can. They now find Rodri, chipped over the top, but Roslav was onto it quickly, heads it away from Sterling and out for a throw.
Yeah, City just starting to build up the pressure again now in these last couple of minutes. Brentford are going to try and stay strong here as the first change for the home side is going to be Grealish to come on for Mahrez.
Yeah, he's not really been... I don't know. I mean, I was saying this all about De Bruyne and about Bernardo, but Mahrez hasn't really been at his best either tonight. He scored the goal. Maybe just a few City players that are just sort of cruising at sort of 6.5 out of 10 performances. And is it going to be good enough? They lead 1-0 with 66 minutes to go. One mistake could really be costly for Man City in this game.
It could be. We've seen a couple of chances for Brentford to break out. There was that one for Mbeumo just a moment ago. There was the chance where Henry played a ball across the penalty area towards Roslav, and then he fired it in towards Onyeka. So there have been a couple of half chances, and it's an old cliche, but it's true. A one-goal lead in football is always potentially can always potentially be made up.
So from the throw, Cancelo gets it back and tries to nutmeg Roslav. It's come off the Portuguese last, and so Brentford have a throw. Maybe just a bit of belief creeping, not creeping, but certainly growing in the Brentford players here that they are still in the game. There are going to be opportunities on the counter attack or to chase down balls over the top, as they tried to do here with the fresh legs of Mbeumo, but it's gone out for a throw. Cancelo takes it on the halfway line, finding Rodri, and then a quick challenge there from De Silva wins it back. Then Roslav is tackled on the ground. Grealish picks it up and tries to dart between defenders. He's going to take on Raya. Raya does well, gets back goal side, forces Grealish in to a congested area. It's worked back out of the area to a space, and now it's crossed in from the left, but Brentford defend it well. Norgard taps it away. Picked up by Stones. The referee's given a free kick for a foul on Norgard. And Brentford have a free kick with about a quarter of this match to go. And to take it through to full-time, Paul Szczerbakowicz.
Thank you very much, Si. Yes, and it's 2-1 to Spurs, by the way. Heung-min Son has given Spurs the lead in that game. I said that in the first half that he'd given Spurs the lead. It turned out to be an own goal by Bednarek, but on this occasion I think it is Son that's made it 2-1 to Spurs. Brentford preparing their third and final change. Johan Visser, the striker's getting ready to come on. So that's an interesting thought as well. They've already got Mbeumo, and they're potentially going to get a second striker up there as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Thomas Frank being very positive. He obviously feels as though his side have got a platform now to do something a little bit more ambitious in the game, to try and take the game a little bit more to Manchester City. This is a mistake here by Raya.
Oh, he's given it away, and he makes it up for that with a save, and then it's a follow-up from De Bruyne. It's in the back of the net. It's an absolute calamity there from Raya, and he puts his hand up straight away and apologises. That awkward sort of embarrassed smile on the face of the Brentford goalkeeper there. All that hard work. Thomas Frank getting ready to bring on a second striker to make it difficult for City at 1-0, and now it's 2-0.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne does not miss those. He was just sort of jogging around there, hoping that there would be a mistake, and there was. David Raya played it inside. It was straight to Raheem Sterling. He was denied by Raya, but De Bruyne was there to sort of lurk him round on the follow-up, and he just passed it into the empty net really with Raya having made that save from Sterling.
It's a bad habit that Raya has. You made the point earlier that when he had a back pass earlier, which he let roll pretty much all the way into his 6-yard box. Does well to stave the effort from Sterling, but leaves his goal completely open there. And De Bruyne, still a little bit of composure there from the Belgians, or just making sure he puts a little bit of curl on that ball to get it away. And Pep Guardiola, the fact that he's celebrating that goal as much as he is there, Si, I think tells you that he knows it's an important goal, because City weren't out of the woods in this game yet.
No, they weren't, and he probably recognised recognised as well that Thomas Frank was about to send on the cavalry there. Will that change Frank's mind now in terms of the substitution he was about to make by sending on Johan Wissa?
Yeah, interesting to see whether he still wants to make it. He has made the change. Wissa is on the field and he's come on for Frank Onyeka. So I suppose from a position where Wissa was going to come on to try and get Brentford an equaliser, now he's come on to try and get Brentford back into the game. And they're going forward now, although that ball isn't going to be kept in play by Jensen, and it's out for a City goal kick.
Yeah, City can take their time now, can't they? There's less sort of pressure on them to hurry things, and that will just make things a little bit easier. They're going to make a change as well now with Phil Foden coming off and İlkay Gündoğan coming on, the German who scored their equaliser at the weekend against Fulham. Very composed, simple finish to get City back on terms. He's going to come on for the final 20 minutes of this one.
Yeah, so he's on now just to try and get a little bit more steel into that midfield. City with just under 20 minutes to play, a 2-goal lead. Now they'll feel they're in a very strong position. Brentford have even any chance here. They've got to try and get a goal back quickly. Referee just telling Edison to take a little bit less time over the goal kick, but it's a good goal kick. It goes over the top, and City asking the question is, Sterling felt as though he might have been impeded as he was going forward. Referee disagrees. It is out for a throw to City though down the right-hand side. We'll see from the replay here. Is Pinnock fouling Sterling there for you?
Yes.
I think
he holds him. It's
not a 50-50, is it? He's definitely doing more to stop Sterling than Sterling was to try and get away from him. So I think it probably would have been the right decision to give City a free kick. They take the throw. Those stones to Gündoğan, back to De Bruyne, and now it's with Ruben Diaz on the halfway line. Back over towards the right-hand side for Stones. Under pressure, plays it back in towards Diaz again. But City now looking a lot more comfortable with this 2-goal lead. De Bruyne looks up, plays a crossfield ball to try and pick out Bernardo Silva. First time pass back towards João Cancelo. About 30 yards out from goal. Now it's with Rodrigo. Back to Aymeric Laporte. Brentford trying to press, but City comfortably moving the ball around here inside the Beast half. Now it's with John Stones. Finds De Bruyne at the edge of the area. Goes in towards Gündoğan. Two Brentford players hit the deck. Gündoğan hit the deck as well. No free kick given, no penalty given. And De Silva brings it away now for Brentford up towards Rico Henry. He's stopped by John Stones and out for a Brentford throw.
Yeah, just starting to sort of drop into those pockets now. Kevin De Bruyne, where he's been struggling to find those areas that he usually operates in this game. Couldn't thread it through to Gündoğan, who then fell over in the box looking for a penalty. It was never a foul there. In fact, if anything, he's done as much to foul the Brentford players as they were to him. It was just the correct decision by the referee to play on there.
Yeah, Pontus Jansson just needing a moment. Of course, Brentford have used all 3 of their substitutions, so unless there's going to be a concussion injury, they can't make any more changes. So ideally, the Beast captain wants to start running that injury off as quickly as possible. But throw on to Brentford now. Down the left, and Pinnock deciding to go back to Raya, and Grealish is closing him down, and Raya needed to be quick there. Grealish was very close to closing the Brentford keeper down. Up towards the halfway line though, it's taken down by Mbeumo, who may have been in offside position as that long ball was played. So it will be a free kick to Manchester City. No change in the other scores. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1, Spurs 2, Southampton 1, and of course 15 minutes behind our game. Aston Villa lead against Leeds by 3-2. So City now moving forward here with John Stones. Finds Gündoğan, back to Rodrigo. Really has been very defensive this evening. Not seen him get forward too much at all. Square now to Aymeric Laporte. Back to Rodrigo, and he's got options left and right. Just goes short towards Jack Grealish. Square now towards John Stones. And Grealish and Sterling now down the right-hand side. But Brentford back in numbers, once again making it difficult for City here to try and get forward towards the penalty area. Laporte has it again now to Cancelo. Down the left is Bernardo Silva. Just been closed down by Roslev. Goes back towards the halfway line. Ruben Diaz being closed down by Wissa. But City still able to move the ball around. Back into the Brentford half now with Bernardo down the left to João Cancelo. He gets to the edge of the area, gets away from Roslev and from Jensen. He thought about the shot, just decides to switch play now over towards De Bruyne on the right-hand side. De Bruyne to Stones into the penalty area. Now Sterling fighting to try and get on the end of this one, but Pinnock gets there just ahead of him. And he clears it, but not particularly fast. City have it back again. And once again, they're just trying to get something started in midfield here with Rodrigo to Grealish. Square now to Laporte. Grealish stood up there by Raya, gets away from the Dane, but still can't quite get into the penalty area here. Grealish over towards Bernardo now. Long spell of uninterrupted possession here for City, but they can't get into the box.
No, I mean, Brentford haven't changed anything. They're still sat in those same positions. Basically when the City are in possession, it's 5 across the back. They play with the other 5 in a sort of, almost like a box in front of them there, 3 and a 2, and it's hard for City to break them down. They're disciplined. They don't get out of shape easily. City are having to make complicated passing moves just to pull them this way and that, and Brentford are not really getting out of shape. It's a good disciplined defensive display.
It is, albeit they're unable to break down the possession. City have all of the ball, but at least Brentford are making it difficult for them to get into the box. But here is João Cancelo now switching over towards the right-hand side. Sterling being closed down by Rico Henry. Sterling back to Stones. It's all on the right-hand side as a City look, as Johan Visser trying to close down on Raheem Sterling. Ball now back with Rodrigo. City have completed 443 passes in this game to Brentford's 104. And it's 109-16 in terms of final third passing. But here comes João Cancelo, edge of the area, strikes it. It's just over the bar. Does get a nick on the way, and it's away for a City corner.
Yeah, he's been sort of, he's been trying to get a goal all night, hasn't he, Cancelo? He's had so many different, opportunities, edge of the penalty area. He's always willing to have a crack, and he sees it open up again here. It comes off a defender's back and goes wide, but you can just see how much he wants that goal tonight.
He does. It's a corner kick to City on the left, and it's De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva standing over it. De Silva and Mbeumo are there to try and stop any short corner. De Bruyne plays it towards the edge of the... In fact, no, it's towards the penalty spot. Diving header there from Rodrigo, but it's always a difficult ask to try and get onto a cross like that from when it's about 12, 13 yards out, and he was having to back away as well.
So 14 minutes to go. Brentford have got to score, I think, to give Man City any kind of a scare or a bit of pressure in this one. And really, I don't see where it's coming from. Clearly, Ivan Toney's absence tonight has hampered them a little bit. I thought, Godos and Canos, didn't really look like anything like a partnership. And we're not seeing much from De Silva and Mbeumo either in terms of any understanding. It's so hard for Brentford, isn't it? They're going to be able to defend and going to be able to block out Man City, but I just don't see him hurting Man City in what time remains.
No, there's no way for them to get that sort of sustained possession unless it's going to be a quick counter attack, which seems unlikely because City aren't pressing forward in the same sort of numbers because they don't need to. By the way, there is an equaliser for Southampton at Spurs, and it's Mohamed Elyounoussi that makes it 2-2. And that game is a couple of minutes ahead of us as well. So Southampton are potentially close to a very precious point there away from home. As Norgard tries to play his way out from the back, runs straight into De Bruyne. Now it's with Rodrigo, plays it into Grealish at the edge of the area. Good challenge there from Raya. Cleared back into midfield where De Bruyne plays it square to John Stones. And Stones now switching play over towards the left-hand side. Bernardo heads it down for João Cancelo. And Cancelo square now to Rodrigo. Here is De Bruyne now. Spots some space here for Stones down the right-hand side. But again, Brentford flooding the edge of the area, not making it easy here for Manchester City. Trying again now with Ruben Diaz to João Cancelo. Brentford playing a high offside line as well. So they really have condensed their own half of the field. But again, as I made the point, they're just not really able to do any more than upset City's attacking rhythm, but they can't really win the ball back themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably when Brentford got promoted, then the fans would have probably expected a lot of this season. These type of away sort of displays where they're just trying to restrict the big team. They're just trying to frustrate and try and get anything they can. Just little half chances on the break. They've been much better than that, Brentford. Away from home, they have gone to grounds and they have been more expansive. They've tried to play early balls into two-man forward lines away from home, and it's upset a few big Premier League, certainly bigger than them, Premier League teams. It's not been the case. They haven't been able to do anything other than play the sort of the minnows role.
Well, just as you say that, De Silva's robbed of the ball in midfield, and now Grealish brings it forward. He finds Sterling. De Bruyne at the edge of the area to João Cancelo. Puts it onto his right foot. He actually took too long to get a shot away there, I thought. But then a loose ball drops to Rodrigo, who strikes it towards goal. And that's a good one-handed save there from David Raya to put it out for a corner.
Yeah, he's made up for his error for the second goal there with a brilliant right-handed save there. It's come through a crowd of bodies, lots of power, it's a fantastic save. It was probably maybe heading for the post or coming off the post and going into his net. At full stretch, he's put it wide.
Shea Adams makes it 3-2 to Southampton. A complete turnaround there at Spurs. So now it's Tottenham 2, Southampton 3, and a 6-goal thriller at Villa Park. Leeds United have just equalised to make it 3-3 with Diego Llorente with the goal there. So goals flying in elsewhere. But here's the corner kick for City. Crossed in by De Bruyne, headed away back into midfield. Sterling now back into the box, trying to pick out Gundogan. Once again, Rico Henry is there for Brentford. Puts it out for another corner.
Yeah. That equaliser, I think, would put Leeds on the same number of points as Brentford, wouldn't it?
It would.
Leeds would be going level.
23, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but they'll have 2 games in hand.
Yes, it's going to be. There's certainly going to be a telling factor, those games that were postponed earlier in the season. You'd imagine that there shouldn't be too many more of those postponements now towards the end of the campaign. But City take the corner kick short this time, and then it's Sterling trying to get the ball into the penalty area, which is cleared by De Silva. Visser then tries to get the ball through towards Mbeumo. He holds it up and finds De Silva down the right-hand side. A good ball from De Silva. I thought it was going to be a ball for Visser to chase. It was a bit much for Mbeumo to get on the end of that. De Bruyne with the clearance, but it's dropped straight to Josh De Silva. He then plays it back towards the halfway line. Brentford can start again. At least keep the ball for a moment here. 81 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Manchester City leading against Brentford by 2-0. Great run here from Rico Henry to get away from Rodrigo. Puts the cross in. They're asking the question about a handball on Ruben Diaz. I don't think it was a handball, but it will be a corner. No,
it was fired into him from close range, and I think he was, his arms were sort of by his side there. It did come off the arm, but corner's the right decision for me there. So what can Brentford do? We've seen them have one corner in the first half where they put it right under the crossbar and tried to get bodies there to prevent Ederson from coming for it. It looks like they're going with the same kind of look here.
Well, it's Matthias Jensen to try and whip it in. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from the left-hand side. Puts a bit of height on this one. They are trying to crowd out Ederson. He just gets a bit of a hand to it. Ball still inside the penalty area. And it's Norgard back heels it to Visser. He strikes it towards goal. Deflected out for another corner.
Yeah, he got a good hit on that, did Visser, after Norgard's inventive back heel. But again, from the first initial ball in, Brentford, they're not necessarily winning the first ball, but they're making it hard for City to get it away. They're pressurising all the aerial challenges, and they're trying to just keep it alive in the penalty area and see where it drops.
Yeah, Matthias Jensen now waiting to take this corner kick once again. 5 Brentford players inside the 6-yard box. Another 3 lurking at the edge of the penalty area. Mbeumo's there for the short corner as well. But it's Jensen's ball in, flicked on at the near post. It looked like it was off a City head there. And then it drops to Bernardo Silva, who clears that long up the field. But David Raya is out from his goal here for Brentford, and he volleys that one straight back towards the City penalty area. Pinnock is still up there. Holds it up now for Mbeumo. And there's a foul, says the referee, as Pinnock bumps into his man. Darren England says that's a free kick to City.
Yeah, he's gone down very easily there, the City defender. I mean, Pinnock might have used his arm slightly.
He's handballed
it. Yeah, it was handball. Yeah. So he did use his arm. Yeah.
we both thought it was for a foul, didn't we, initially? Which would have been a very harsh decision. But I mean, there's an argument to say that it could have been accidental. That's maybe what Thomas Frank is mentioning to Andy Manley, our fourth official. But having said that, it certainly helped him, didn't it? So I think if the referee hadn't have given it and then Brentford would have scored, I'm pretty sure VAR would have ruled it out in any case. Out for a throw to Brentford down the left-hand side to be taken by Ethan Pinnock. Back towards Pontus Jansson now on the halfway line. We've still got around 6.5 minutes plus injury time to go in this game.
Result's going to take Man City 12 points clear of Liverpool at the top of the table. Liverpool would have 2 games in hand, so potential, if they were to win them both, to cut the deficit to 6. But the goal difference is still it's pretty tight actually between the two. There won't be much in it. City, perhaps tonight, would have felt they could have won this by more than 2-0 to really extend that goal difference away from Liverpool, but they haven't been able to.
Not been able to. They'll still be looking to, of course, try and get a goal or 2 before the end of the game. City's next outing is away to Norwich at the weekend, and then they're away to Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. That will be next Tuesday. And then they play Spurs at home on the 19th of February. As far as Brentford are concerned, they're at home to Palace Then they're away to Arsenal, and then they're at home to Newcastle, and then away to Norwich. So some big games coming up for Brentford there to try and secure their Premier League status. At one stage they looked in a strong position, but sides behind them just started to pick up a bit of form. And as I mentioned at kickoff, Brentford have lost 8 of their last 10 games. That could soon be 9 out of their last 11. But it's a throw on to City now down the left-hand side. It is at the edge of their own penalty area. Brentford have plenty of men forward, but can't fault Brentford's effort, but they have just been lacking that quality to try and trouble City this evening. Yeah,
I think, Tony's fit. They can play a different way. They can play a bit more of a positive way, but the kind of the tactics were forced by Tony's injury tonight, and they've given it a go, but City's quality told in the end, and maybe one or two little half individual errors. The Canos one for the first goal, obviously Roslav compounded it, and the Raya one for the second one have been the difference between the sides.
They have, absolutely, yeah. If you take those errors out for the penalty and the second goal, then potentially Brentford might still be hanging on here for a very precious point. But that's the point with Man City, though, isn't it? That they put that much pressure on you, that they draw those fouls from you, get those errors to try and help themselves along. As the home side now just sitting inside the Brentford half here with Rodrigo. Back now towards Ruben Diaz. Laporte looks up as Brentford's still trying to play a high line here to make it a bit more difficult. Not seen too much of Jack Grealish since he's come on the field. You could say that probably sums up the way that Jack Grealish's time has been at Man City. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, because City now pushing forward here with Sterling. Couldn't quite get into the penalty area. Goes back towards De Bruyne. Now it's with John Stones. A square to Laporte. Finds Bernardo at the edge of the area. Back to Laporte now. Options left and right. One of those is João Cancelo on the left-hand side, edge of the penalty area. Goes back to Grealish. And Grealish now, no options to try and go forward. He goes back towards half line. So yeah, bit of a tough start for Grealish at the Etihad, really.
Yes, the weekend against Fulham, he looked like Guardiola was playing him as a sort of false number 9, and he just looked as though he could not play that position. He didn't have the pace. He didn't have the awareness of where he needed to be. At times, Guardiola was calling him over to the sideline to give him sort of like coaching seminar or something like that. We've seen a few players been called over to the sideline by Guardiola to be sort of quite obviously coached in the past, but Grealish just couldn't play the centre forward position. He eventually had to move him out wide to his usual habitat of on the left, but this Man City side just doesn't seem to. He's not been able to function within the City system that's been developed over the last few years to his full potential yet. He can still do a decent job for them, but it's not anything like what he was, how effective he was for
Absolutely.
Aston Villa.
The point is, does he on a good day, does he get in ahead of Mahrez or Sterling to play out wide in that attacking? Well, he probably doesn't at this stage, does he?
I don't know. With Pep Guardiola could, if they're playing the Champions League final tomorrow, you just couldn't predict Pep Guardiola's lineup. He might play Grealish, and it might be a masterstroke, or it might not be. Certainly, there's nothing for me to suggest that Grealish isn't good enough to play for Man City in their best 11 in a Champions League final, something like that. But he hasn't shown anything like his Villa or even his England ability from the summer.
No, for the time being, it's City once again. Just stopped at the edge of the Brentford penalty area here with Stones. Square now to Laporte. Finds Jack Grealish. Grealish at the edge of the area now looking for options. One of those is Sterling, but he's got 2 Brentford players surrounding him. They're not really able to find Sterling inside the box. He's back now with Ruben Diaz to Laporte, heading towards the left-hand edge of the box, finding João Cancelo away from Roslav, into Grealish inside the penalty area, fires a ball across the 6-yard box. That was more of a cross than a shot, but it was just a bit too close to the line to pick out a teammate. Kept in play here by De Bruyne. Back towards Stones, and he goes back towards Ruben Diaz. But City once again dominant in possession, just trying to chip away at Brentford here. Sterling 30 yards out, gets away from Jensen, then finds De Bruyne. Back to Sterling. Inside now to João Cancelo, stopped though by Norgard, and the ball back on the halfway line here with Ruben Diaz. João Cancelo back to John Stones. Grealish now out towards the right-hand side. The visitors patiently trying to get their chance to pick the ball off, but it's just not happening for Brentford at the moment. We've got a minute to go here before we hit injury time at the Etihad Stadium. No change in the other scores, so it's Norwich 1, Palace 1, Tottenham 2, Southampton 3. Potential coupon buster there. And Aston Villa leads 3-3, and that game is on 73 minutes at Villa Park. Meanwhile, it's with João Cancelo on the right-hand side now for Man City. Edge of the area, tries outside of the boot pass to pick up Bernardo. That's well stopped inside the penalty area, headed away by Raya, and now it's Mbeumo going back towards David Raya, who clears this ball up towards the halfway line, straight onto the head of Ruben Diaz. Josh De Silva now for Brentford, in towards Mbeumo. Gets away from two City players and tries to pick out Vissa, who does head it on, but he's the furthest forward, so heading that even closer towards City's goal. That's going to be straight back through to Ederson. There may have been an offside in the build-up anyway.
Yeah, Man City's defensive offside lines, it's really worked well tonight, hasn't it? They are coached, to push up and to try and catch their opponents offside when they can, and it's worked for them on a number of occasions tonight. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added on, as the TV have given their Man of the Match award to João Cancelo.
Not sure I would disagree with that necessarily. I think there have been a lot of City players who've played well without being outstanding tonight. There's been a few 7s, I would say, not too many 8s or 9s though.
I thought a few players have sort of cruised through the game, to be honest, and you can understand it in a way, and it's not done them any harm, but maybe some of the players are already starting to think about the Champions League game coming up.
Well, City, meanwhile, trying to wrap this game up here in injury time. Bernardo stopped in the penalty area, back to Gundogan, as Rodrigo now finding João Cancelo on the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Puts a cross in, looking for Sterling, but that's over his head and into the hands of David Raya. We have a 6th goal at Spurs, Simon.
Yes, 3-3 now. So that's 2 3-3 draws at the moment in the Premier League tonight. There's still 15 minutes to go in one of them.
Absolutely, yeah. But there has just been a little VAR icon appeared next to the Spurs scoreline. So potentially there may be a spanner in the works there for Antonio Conte's side. It'd be a famous win for Southampton if they could get 3 points, because Spurs really have looked good under Conte, especially at home, so that really would be a feather in the cap of Ralph Hasenhüttl. But here at the Etihad, Brentford pushing forward in now, potentially looking for a consolation. That's a great ball from De Silva to pick out Henry. They're breaking into the box. Henry's ball is over hit. No chance for Mbeumo to get on the end of that. But Roslev will be able to keep this in play. Coming up now inside to the penalty area is De Silva, getting away from Rodrigo, playing that ball across. Norgard flicks it in. Vissa gets there. He must be offside, surely. And he is offside. Meanwhile, I think Rico Henry might have a bit of a hamstring problem there. Yeah,
that's bad news for Brentford. You don't want injuries, and when he's had such a good game, Rico Henry, he's charged up and down that left-hand flank when he can. Limited opportunities when in possession, and maybe he has just pulled something there. But of so many important games coming. You mentioned the Crystal Palace game coming up. They'd ideally want him to be fit for that. He's jogging back to the halfway line, so it can't be a hamstring. If it is something, it just be a tweak.
Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Meanwhile, the goal, the Bergwijn's goal to make it 3-3 has been ruled out for offside after a VAR review. So it is still Tottenham 2, Southampton 3, and they're into the 5th minute of injury time in that game. It's all over at Carrow Road, and it's finished at Norwich City 1, Crystal Palace 1. Norwich taking the lead through Pukki inside the first minute. Palace equalising on 60 minutes through Wilf Zaha, and then 3 minutes later, Zaha missing a penalty to put Palace 2-1 up in that game. And Aston Villa against Leeds, I should say, still 3-3, and there's around 13 minutes to go in that game. But meanwhile here at the Etihad, we pretty much had the full 3 minutes of injury time. Brentford just holding possession on the halfway line now. Jensen's ball over the top, looking for Roslev. Is he offside? Was there a foul? Whatever it was, it's not going to be Roslev going towards goal. It's a free kick to Manchester City. And all eyes on Darren England now. He could pretty much call time even before this free kick is taken. Good day at the office in the end for Manchester City. And the referee has called time here at the Etihad Stadium. Pep Guardiola and Thomas Frank sharing a handshake, but it's all over. Manchester City beating Brentford by 2-0 from myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Barlow. Thank you very much, and join us again soon.